Yes.
Should we expect a new everything? Like the first time,
Probably not true. It's probably not going to happen, is it?
Probably not.
So then they're going to say, which one would you recommend? And then we're going to go back and help them get to that clarity, right? If you could only choose between two, which two do you think those would be? We have to take all these options off the page except two. Which ones would you keep on the page? Right? And they're going to say, they'll point. Or they'll say, I have no idea. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. If they have no idea, then we're going to start again. We're going to go back. Let me explain option one, and I'm going to just take my time, and I want you to ask me questions, because I want you to know what's in this option. Because I'm convinced that once you understand it well, like if I've done a good job of explaining it, you're going to know what you're getting, and that's going to be really clear for you. That's it. Just stay with it. See, but you see how you have to stay present to this? And not just go for the jugular and say, oh, they've asked which option I would recommend. Because I can now recommend one, and I've got the deal, right? But the instant win isn't always good for long-term business. So stay with it. You've sold it. You've sold it. At this point, you've sold it. Just know that. When they ask which one of these we'd recommend, just stay present to it, and this is a sold job. Okay? So this isn't about trying to push them to the highest one. This isn't like, don't manipulate the situation, just help them get clarity. When they're clear, they're going to buy. Yes?
So how is it manipulation when you're genuinely trying to help somebody?
Right. When you're genuinely trying to help somebody, well, I mean, we had this conversation at the back before. All communication is manipulation. And it just is. Right now, I'm manipulating you into thinking what I want you to think. Like, that's what I'm doing. It's what you're doing with your customers all day long. You do it with your wife and your kids. And it's what we do. Communication is manipulation. In language, we get people thinking about what we want them to think about. So it's all manipulation. The difference between, I like to create a distinction between manipulation and influence, is intent. What do I intend out of this conversation? I want the best for my customer. Okay? That's always my objective. I want the best for my customer. And I can't know that. I can't get to these options, look at this list and say, this is the best for my customer. I can say that option one includes everything, so that in that way it makes it the best. But does that really align with what they want right now? Based on how much money they're going to spend on it, is that really, I can't make that choice for them. Truly, I can't. Is that, how do you feel about that? Yeah.
One more thing, if you do that option B, and they just say, hey, I can't afford that, do you go into, well, pick the ones that you want, or do you go into financing? And just go, well, we offer a financing option
Sure.
for you.
Sure, either way, right? So is it the total amount? Do you want it, like, we do have a financing option here for you? Or do you want to just pick and choose a few of these things and then build an option that works for you? Right?
Just want to make sure that's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely, it's a good question to ask. At that point it is. If they've indicated I want to do option B,
Yeah.
but it's just more than I want to spend.
Okay.
Okay, great. So there's a couple ways we can do this, right? And then, again, there's choice. Do I want to finance it? Do I want to pick and choose? Do I want to pick and choose and then finance? Choices. Empower choice, customers will buy. Don't empower choice, they'll find it some other way. They'll find a way to choose. I'm going to get other options. They're going to give themselves choice. They will. You would do the same.
When would you go about bringing up the financing? Like if they, like in that case, it's like, oh, I just can't afford that right now. Would that be insulting if you're like, well, hey, we do offer financing? Would people...
Well, so again, now position financing against some other choices, and it's no longer insulting. Okay, so there's a few ways that we can do this. One, we could pick and choose things that you want to get done that are higher priority for you than others, and we'll have to talk through that because I want to know what works for you. That's completely up to you. Two, we could finance this. We could just go straight to that if that's an option that you'd like to consider. Or we could do a combination of both. We could pick and choose and then finance a different package. All right, so now I'm not financing as the only option. May grab them as insulting. But if it's one of a bunch of them, then they're just choice, right?
I think it's how you word it too, because financing sometimes is a derogatory term to some people. Especially down here where there's such amount of money per capita people. Some people like, it's not the money, but it kind of is.
Right.
if they ain't got it, they ain't trying to admit it.
Yeah, and I'll just say, well, and if it is something that you want to do, there is a way that it can be broke down on a monthly basis where you actually pay 0 interest. So that's an option that you can consider.
So like I do is.
So don't
like,
use the
you know,
word.
For a certain time, I always include the financing price next to my price. I always have, you know, this is this, or it's this amount a month, and it's always side by side.
Right.
Or anything over that, so I don't have to, you know, have that issue, like, oh, well, here, let me get the price, this would it be if you wanted to do financing, since you can't obviously afford it right now.
Right. And the only place I wouldn't wanna have that financing number is in an old equipment, option B scenario.
Gotcha.
Old equipment, option B. Everybody with me on that? I wanna finance that. I don't want them paying $150 a month for 5 years to keep that 12-year-old piece of equipment, right? You see what I'm saying? That makes no sense. That is not a financeable option. We're just not doing that. That's not really good for anybody. Yes?
I was gonna say, I think Shane's right, just presenting it up front, letting the customer know. I'm gonna go ahead and go through these options with you right now. On some of the higher ticket items, a lot of our customers like to do the payment plan, makes it a little more flexible for them. So I can show you both options or whichever way you wanna see it.
Yep.
Just tell them up front that you have it available, and a lot of people enjoy that because the benefits are, it makes it flexible, and it's no big deal. And then that way they don't feel pressured like, oh, I'm choosing this because I can't afford it right now.
Right. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. In a moment, we're gonna find our way to somebody who is not our running partner. And we are gonna once again, practice this present step, like as you have been. So I want you to go through the rep of everything that you've done, like get another couple of reps in. Thank you for the opportunity to come and do business with you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Link it, say it, link it, say it, link it, say it. You go through this process, and then you turn it around and hand it to the customer. The customer's gonna look at it for a couple minutes, and then say, I don't know, which one would you recommend? And then deal with it. And then customer, be realistic in your response. Right? If they say, well, I don't know which, I'm gonna hesitate to recommend one to you, because I don't have, I'm not you, I don't know, that's not fair for me to do that. But can I ask you a couple of questions to help us get closer to which one suits you? Sure. Which one, if you could only pick between two, which two would you want to leave on the page to choose between? And then just work from there. That will get you in a really great spot. What questions do you have before we can start this? We switch partners, find somebody, and practice the present.
Oh, no, going back to the, let's pick them up.
Like I did those 3 jobs, I did 2 zones, and then out. Replaced, so what do I do?
Get an email with
It's on the tablet. And then
say email, or you can go right in
divide it up there. Just bring it to them and
right
just the regular.
That's how the guys told me to get it. No.
I went and got an email from Rob, and Rich, and it said Rob.
Right now.
Okay. So each one, it doesn't matter which one they are. I got the job numbers now, but I'm just saying, like, so everything that I have to get or get back has to have a job number issued to them, right? So
Whatever you use on it back.
there's no truck stop.
Right, huh?
There's no truck stop.
Well, that would be, yeah, it would be part, that would be truck stop.
Right.
So anything you use on a truck stop, that's job number and items.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, if I'm running into, okay, I'm gonna need more of these during the day, and I need to add them in the truck stop, how do I do that? Get an approval from you, or Mike, or a special order, and then I have to get approval.
I then have